page from the Daily Guidance book, and a card from the Universal Love Deck. I have no idea what I've pulled until I share that with you. Before I get into the message, please note that this is a collective group message, so it may not align with you, and that's simply okay. Come back and visit me tomorrow where it may be more aligned with what you need to know. And if you're returning, I'm so grateful to have you here again. So let's get into the message. It may be a long one today. You'll see why. What limiting beliefs do you have? Limiting beliefs are simply opinions or beliefs we hold about self that are untrue, formed subconsciously based on past life experiences, your blueprint, the opinions and restrictions that other people placed on you. Now, I wanted to be specific because I get asked a lot about this particular one. If you have money limiting beliefs, what did you observe and learn about money growing up? Was it one of abundance or one of lack? Did your parents say, like my mum used to say, is money doesn't grow on trees, we don't have money, we can't afford it? And all of those things which really did plant seeds in your mind and maybe still there. People come to me and ask me for tools. How do I just get rid of limiting beliefs? And I'm going to say that if you are after a quick fix, great, work from here to here, which is all about your mindset. However, I'm going to say to you that that's only temporary. You're going to find that there's things about money that are still going to come up. Because we need to work vertically. We need to go inward. We need to go to the gut with most things that we struggle with in life. And for some reason, due to the fact that our society is a quick fix society, it is really promoted so much and in our face quite a bit. Just mindset. And I'm going to share, it does frustrate me. Because I know in order to really rid all of our past pain permanently, we need to heal from it. We need to firstly identify all of it. And I'm still identifying things. It's like peeling a bloody onion, right? Identify it. Really look at it and heal from it. And the third one, which is what's lacking with so many people, is release it. Throw it out. People say, I've worked through stuff. Yeah, great. They've brought it up. They've discussed it. And then they put all the pain back down because they didn't go vertical. They didn't heal from the pain, the emotional pain that experience has caused them. And those of you who know me know I speak about the gut. I don't work with people with this. I work with people with the gut, all about emotion. And I honestly believe that that's a missing piece for so many people. And it may even be for you. That, yeah, you've gone to therapists, you've gone to counsellors. It's not, and please note, this is not a criticism about them or whoever you've worked with. All I'm asking is ask yourself, you work through the experience and you spoke about the experience, but did you work, heal and release the emotional attachment to that experience that you carry? Because is that what's still being triggered? So I will keep moving. I knew I was going to digress with this message because there's so much I want to share with you today and they're just really throwing it at me. So higher self is really giving me lots of information today. So that was about the money limiting belief, okay? A limiting belief is cemented in our mind through constant thoughts of lack, which then generally triggers the emotional attachment to it, that feeling. And often we attach and triggers that old feeling from when we were a child, where the original source came from. And because we're an adult, we tend to feel it more and we can't really identify why we feel that way. So I hope that you've just gained something from that. Because if you're in a situation as an adult and it makes you feel, say, dumb, I'll just go to that one. Say you're in a situation, and maybe at work, it may be with people that are around you, and you feel less than, or you're intimidated by someone, making you feel dumb, right? And it may those words may not resonate, and that's okay. But really, just go with me here, and tap into that. How does it make you feel? Now, that feeling could be exactly how you felt back when you were a child in a situation that made you feel the same way. It's triggered that emotion. So guess what? That emotion as an adult is amplified because you're now tapped into that childhood feeling. I hope this makes sense. It multiplies that feeling, so it becomes so overwhelming, and you're just going, oh, but it was only this. And just maybe because you haven't got the awareness that you've just tapped into your childhood pain that's still there. Your younger self's still waiting for you to validate that, and you haven't. So again, let's keep moving on. Working solely on the mind to rid limiting beliefs is only a temporary fix. It will not be permanent. And I say that with 100% of every cell of my being. This is not a belief. This is what I have seen through people that I've worked with, and myself more than anything. All what I share is what I learned through working on myself to heal and rid all of that and throw it out. Limiting beliefs stem from suppressed experiences held in the gut. It takes identifying, healing, and releasing that cause the feeling of lack, which means limit, right? Think about it. And I'll say think about it, but I'd love you to reflect about it and go back to your child. What experiences, what situations were you in where you didn't feel good enough, where you didn't feel you fit in, where you felt dumb, where you didn't feel deserving, or even to the point like me, it may be that I felt poor, that everybody else had money and I felt poor. So it really made me feel like I was a lower class. And that may resonate with you. You know, feeling, which in turn really doesn't feel good enough, right? But sometimes we need to just really identify that feeling. And for me, it was like I felt lower class, which in turn, deeper down, made me didn't feel good enough. And there was jealousy and envy, and why can't I have that? I was a kid. Of course I'm going to feel that. So, you know what? And you may find other words that really resonate with you, and I'd like for you to write them down. Write them all down. Didn't feel good enough, felt picked on, felt lower class, whatever term fits with you to describe how you felt, then write it down in your language, your words. It's really important because my words may not resonate with you and you'll go, nah, I don't feel like that. So find how you felt in your words, okay? It's really important that you take that on board. And lastly, work vertically, not only horizontally, which is all in the mind. If you're only doing this, you're only doing half the work. It's unfortunately that, you know, our world is covered it all in about mindset, do mindset, personal development. Yeah, you'll be right. You'll heal when you do mindset. Just shift your thoughts. It's not that simple. What about throwing out your emotions? The emotional attachment to those thoughts. The emotional attachment to the experiences that you endured. That may be painful, traumatic. So as you can see, I do get frustrated sometimes because I just go, people are searching and wanting answers to heal. To really rid if you're depressed or you're anxious And I'm using medical terms and they don't align with me, and I even feel comfortable saying them. But I'm getting guided. I need to use your language, and it's not about me. Okay? So if you're feeling depressed, anxious, lost, overwhelmed, fearful, it may be you may be saying, I'm doing this mindset stuff. I'm seeing people, and you're still at a loss as to why you're not moving forward. And please know that I'm not angry. This is when I'm passionate. I get very, and I may get a little bit confronting, and it's never my intention. I'll endeavour to take a breath and be a bit like more hearted. But it is because I feel the pain of so many people, and some of the people that I've seen have been searching and endeavouring to heal themselves for over 20 years. One client in particular. And that saddens me. He was absolutely on a journey to heal himself. And because unfortunately he missed out on the key, which was the emotional attachment to his life experiences, what he endured as a child, that wasn't looked at, and so it still sat there. And, you know, he kept saying, I don't feel any better, I don't feel any better. And rather than them look at the emotional attachment to the situations and things that he endured, they just gave him another tablet. And this is not about judgment. This is about me sharing that it's actually saddening for me, because I know, and some of you watching this right now may be absolutely really focused on endeavouring to become a better version of you, because you have been depressed, you get anxious, you get overwhelmed, you get worried, stressed, and you're seeking support, but the support that you're getting, you feel for some reason just isn't shifting you. So I just want to offer not an alternative, a perspective. Are you looking at the emotional attachment to whatever trauma you've endured, or whatever discussions you're going through with your therapist, whoever it is you're working with? And this is not judgment of them. I always want to stipulate. I'm just going to ask you to take a moment, take a breath and go, are you looking at and working and releasing the emotional attachment, emotional pain, trauma to that experience, that event, whatever happened? Because that may be your missing link. So limiting beliefs is really huge for me, because it's a term that we use, but really if there are things holding us back, it's because there's an attachment to it. And it's far deeper than just mindset. It's much more. For most of you, there'll be something traumatic that's holding you back from there. I'm not saying I endeavour not to generalise. I've been pulled up a few times on that, and feedback on that I generalise sometimes. So I'm mindful, and if I have, it was never my intention. So I really do hope, and if you need to watch this message a couple of times and listen to it slowly, and I hope I haven't read it out too fast, then I hope that you get something from this, because it really can be such, I say it's life-changing. That was the difference for me, was throwing out the emotional attachment to what I had endured. That was the game changer. And that's why I was able to heal, and I teach and do what I do, is because I believe that there was a missing component missing. We do the mindset, yeah, great. And as therapists, they all work in the mind and the brain. But I didn't feel that there was enough work or connection to the gut. Because when we suppress things, I want to ask you, where does that go? Where does the things that we suppress in life go? Where do they sit? They don't just disappear into the ether. They sit somewhere in our body. And I'm going to share with you, it's definitely not here. So all those suppressed things, we'll bring them up when we speak about them, but do we speak about and heal the emotional attachment to them? I hope that's clear. So let's keep moving along. Daily guidance from your angels. Let's see what pages come up. Here we go. Clear away clutter. Yeah. Clutter of all the limiting beliefs that you have. Limiting beliefs are in the form of not good enough, not self-worth, not confidence. All of those encompass limiting beliefs. They're all in it. So this is saying clear away the clutter. There are some of you that are watching this that, whoo, I can feel your weight. Your weight's not here. It's all in your gut. There may be some of you that are watching this that have got digestive concerns. It could even be in the form of heartburn, reflux. It could be with your bowel and bladder movement. I'm getting. It could even be forming in the form of high cholesterol and you're really not sure why, considering you eat healthy. I had a client recently. So really look at what's going on in your body with your health-wise. And this is not medical advice, okay? This is just to complement clinical advice. That's all. I'm just saying, just do a self-check as well. That's all this is. And if this is going into overdrive, guess where the pressure of this being so busy goes? It goes straight to the gut. So that's why I'm asking, do you feel like you've got a coil that's so tightly wound deep within and you're not sure why and you just can't pinpoint it? Could be all to do with your limiting beliefs. Because there's maybe something that you want to attain so desperately and you feel that there's this restraint. And I mentioned the word restriction, and that's what I'm getting. So it's really time to look and clear away the clutter, because that's what's causing the restrictions of self. So before I read this message, if you'd like to close your eyes with me, and I'm going to take a deep breath with you, just to really recenter yourself to absorb all the words in this message. And I believe when my eyes were closed, I feel like my bird just flew past. So he gets very excited when I do these. Anyway, let's really get into this message. Your inner drive for orderliness comes from your inherent knowledge of energy flow. You can feel the difference when you're in a clean room versus a messy one. Sensing the effect of disorder in your closet, desk, garage, cupboards, or other areas. Organisation is a way of streamlining your thought processes so that it is not an uphill battle to get dressed, find a paper, or fix something to eat. However, there's a flip side to this, which some people become so fixated on order that they lose their spontaneity. In such cases, tidying up is a delayed tactic to avoid working toward their life purpose and happiness. There should be a balance between enjoying and needing organisation. Energy streams through physical structures in much the same way the water and air flow. When there are too many objects in an environment, that power is obstructed. The effects of this blockage include physical fatigue, difficulty concentrating, increased appetite, and slow manifestations. We give all this background information to help motivate you to clear the clutter in your home or other areas of your life. Yep, your thoughts, okay? Declutter your thoughts. Even a minor change such as cleaning out a closet, straightening a desktop, or giving away an unwanted item will provide benefits. As energy increases through these small efforts, you'll find that you have the time and initiative for larger projects. Thought for today. I clear away clutter, one area and object at a time. If I'm not using or don't love an item, I sell or donate it to someone who will benefit from it. I make the time to organize something in my life, and that small step yields big benefits. Okay, some of you watching this may be either two ways. One that continuously is organizing, and it's like, oh no, I've got to do that, got to do that, got to do that, and you're distracted, and it takes you away from what you're meant to be doing on your life's purpose or working on self. So if you're that person that is continuously finding things to organize and you're distracted really easily, go focused and go, this is just a distraction from me working on myself. And I'm going to say I absolutely fell into that category, and I still occasionally do. There are moments where I go, Kat, what are you doing? Oh, I'll just go and organise that, and I'll just go and organise that, because it stops me from doing this. But this year I made a commitment to self that I was going to commit and be constant in what I do and follow through. And so anytime I can feel that distraction, I stop, take a breath and go, and pull myself back. So it's being consciously aware of your actions. It takes practice, and over practice. It doesn't make perfect, because perfect doesn't exist, but what it does make is permanent. Okay? And for those of you that may be living in a house full of stuff and clutter and disarray, and please note that either this is no judgment on either person. Really walk into a room that you feel has got stuff everywhere, take a breath, and really raise your awareness on how that room makes you feel. Okay? So let's start with one room. Then what I want you to do is, if there is a room, and go to a small room so it's not too overwhelming. We've got to start somewhere. Baby steps. I'd like you to start, even if it's an hour ago, I'm going to go in that room an hour, and I'm going to start getting rid of stuff. I'm going to go through it. What haven't I used? Donate. What do I want? Put in another box. Get 2 containers. My sister showed me this. She's an organizer, and it was a brilliant. Have 2 plastic tubs. Keep, donate, throw. So it's actually 3. Take your time. And if it overwhelms you, walk away, take a breath, go, no, it's baby steps. Just do a little corner. Look at a corner and clear that first. Don't look at the whole room. Once you have totally decluttered that room, put a pot plant in it. And if you don't have one and you live in Melbourne, let me know and I'll donate you one, because I've got plenty. Just a little one. Start off with a little one. And then I want you to go and sit in that room, take a breath, and then see how you feel in that room. Because then I hope that you can compare the two and you can really see how much clutter impacts our overall well-being and how we feel and our emotional balance. Okay? So that was really... And for those of you, if it's not about your external environment, I also, and actually all of you, I want you to look at your internal environment here. The mind, the thoughts, the head, and the gut. How much clutter do we have in that from pain that we still carry, or the negative thoughts, or all the crap that we're holding? It's time to declutter that, and the way to declutter that is get a book and write the shit out. For those of you, journaling may resonate, and for those of you who journaling doesn't, then do brain dump. Or you can just call it a brain declutter. Boop. It's the book. Write it out. Because once you write it out, it's out of your thoughts. But do this, because it's really important. If you want to rid your limiting beliefs, these are the tools that you're going to use. It's going to assist you to do it. So I hope that you do the work. So let's keep moving along. This is going to be a long one. To the Universal Love card. What have I pulled today? Retreat. There we go. We do really need to retreat in order to find the solitude to reflect that inner peace so we can find stuff. It's like, if you're trying to work and there's all this noise going on in the background and people are walking by. It's a distraction, right? And you lose focus and you can't concentrate. Not can't, but it restricts your focus. You're not all in, right? Because you can hear it. And as much as you endeavor to really focus in, it's still there. And so this is what I'm speaking about, and where I'm going with this is about retreating. When you retreat, you need that place of solitude and that peace. It could be down by a river where no one is around, a park, outside in the backyard where where you can't hear others. And another way of maybe doing it is just putting ears in and maybe just some silent, like really quiet water noises. So then it allows you that space to reflect and really do that work and sit with self. Some of you are out of control busy, and I spoke about busy yesterday. And I'm going to share with some of you, you may be making sure that you're busy because it's a distraction. It's distracting you from things that you should be working on. And I don't like the word should. Actually, I'm going to delete that. The word that you not must be working on. Let's go with that. Must. What about self are you avoiding? What in your life are you avoiding? What in self, what in your external environment, what in your work environment are you avoiding so you keep yourself busy and you say, I don't have time? It is time to make time for retreat. If you've got limiting beliefs and you go, I want to get rid of those and blah and all of that, and you want to work on self, stop making the bullshit excuse too busy. Find time to retreat, because it's the only way you're going to identify, heal, and release all of the things, the experiences that you've had, or the things that people have said to you as a child, that you're going to release so you can really rid those limiting beliefs and move forward in your life. And actually, it's just brought up a memory and I wanted to share with you. For so many years, I held the belief, and it was money, that I was poor. And, my blueprint was one of lack. Absolutely. Money didn't grow on trees, can't afford it. I know my mum never intentionally said those things. She wasn't aware of the impact it would have on me. So growing up, I got to high school and we were pretty poor. And we always had food on the table. But, going to high school, my parents, year 7, they couldn't afford any of the books. And I really didn't have a lot of stationery. And I remember this pivotal day where my teacher pulled me up to the front of the class and said, do you think it's fair in front of everybody that people have to share their books because you don't have your own? So the textbooks. I was so embarrassed. My head was down, and some of the kids laughed. Some of the kids teased me. Yeah, I had a beautiful friend that sat and she would always share, and I would go to her place to do homework for the textbooks. So for so many years, there was this limiting belief that I wasn't worthy of having money. I'm always going to be poor. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's really hard to come by. And why should I have money? So there are all the beliefs attached to a limiting belief of money. And there were so many cords or layers in the onion attached to money limiting beliefs. And this is what I'm sharing with you. That all stemmed from one incident where a teacher pulled me up and embarrassed me in front of the whole class, and I was teased and bullied because we didn't have the money to have books. What in your childhood has happened that you may have dismissed and thought it was no big deal, but it really is impacting your money blueprint, your limiting beliefs, either of self, it could be, or both, money limiting beliefs and self-limiting beliefs, because that one incident affected everything. My confidence, because I was humiliated, I was embarrassed, I didn't feel good enough, I didn't fit in the tribe. I could go on and on. For so many years, I would hide in the background because I wasn't worthy. I wasn't up to everyone else's standards. and it was connected because I didn't have money like others. It's amazing that when you go down that into gut and you go down and you look inward and really search for everything attached. And I'm still finding things today because we are an onion and we just keep peeling the layers. I love that Shrek, there was a line in the movie Shrek, and I did so that about the layers that we have. And I believe we'll always have layers. We'll always be peeling the onion because that comes with growth. And if we're not growing, we're rotting. And I go, I don't want to rot. I want to continuously keep growing. So I embrace the learnings. I embrace the discoveries of self. What emotional attachment haven't I found to that? Great, beautiful. Bring it up so I can throw it out. Thank you. Next. So I hope, retreat. I'll get onto the page. I did know this was going to be a long one. All right, retreat. Before I read this, once again, close your eyes, take a deep breath, just so you can absorb all the goodness and the words from this message. I'll show you the picture. The angel on this card is asking that you slow down. Take a break. You are working and trying too hard. If something feels constantly out of reach or you are faced with obstacles, it does not necessarily mean that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes things take time. Patience. Clear your mind of the thoughts that have cast a cloud over you. Forget about things for a while and just relax. Let the sun shine down upon you. All will work out well when the timing is right. So really take some breaths. And if those of you are getting frustrated and going, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? It's time for retreat. Take a step back, breathe, look at it, because if there's this impatient, you're becoming emotionally unbalanced. Therefore, you're losing the ability to logically think. Okay? And maybe that's why you're not able to solve a problem or find a solution or come up with an idea or be creative, because you're being impatient, which is causing this emotional, you're unbalanced. You're emotionally unbalanced. So with retreat and really taking time, step back from the situation, you watch how quickly the answer will come to you. And maybe there is something that you need to work on and heal so you can then move forward in whatever it is you're working in or on. Okay, it's been a long message, but it is a question that I get asked so often about limiting beliefs, and I couldn't believe it's finally come up. I feel it's the first time this message, but maybe it's not. So I hope that you have gained even something little from today's message. If you've got any further questions on this, because it is a massive subject, it's a massive, so many different things can come off this. Please either write a comment or message me. My contact details are all in the description. If you would like to purchase the cards, there is a link in the description for you, also for the Angel Guidance book, and there's a couple of other links to books that I really highly recommend. So never forget that you matter. Okay, you really do matter, and it's you are your most valuable asset. So why wouldn't you invest in you? So do the work, use the tools, because I know from my own experience they work. They've worked for me. I trial and everything. I trial and test everything. So I really want to thank you for your time, spending your time with me today. I absolutely respect that your time is valuable. If you enjoyed today's video, I would be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload tomorrow's cat's message of the day. I think I've covered everything. So for today, take care.